Hello again, I'm Huet, and I work on the Microsoft PowerCat team. Today, we're going to be discussing the Power Platform, SAP, and the user experience. And with me, I have Frederic, who will be discussing 4 key points as to why you would use the Power Platform with SAP, and Vanessa, who will be showing us a Power App that sits on top of SAP. And what's interesting was how it was built. A little spoiler, it was built by the business users. Let's head on over and speak with Frederic and Vanessa about Power Platform, SAP, and the user experience. All right, welcome everybody to the PowerCat 4. Today we're going to continue our discussion on SAP. In this particular case, we're going to focus on SAP, the Power Platform, and the UX and UI experience. Today we have Frederic Huet, who is a Principal Group Engineering Manager, and Vanessa Azavedo, a Senior Software Engineer. Welcome, folks. How are you today?
Doing greatly. Thank you for having us.
Thanks.
Well, let's get started. Frederic, would you please start us off with some background around Microsoft, SAP, and the Power Platform?
Sure. So Microsoft, it's no big mystery, has been a huge consumer of SAP products for over 20 years, 25 years now. That's long partnership, and we have a sprawling landscape that uses a lot of SAP and a lot of other things. And of course, with everything that's sprawling after 25 years, there's high complexity. The product itself has evolved, the company has evolved. The Microsoft of today sells product that didn't exist 2 decades ago. So we have a very, very complicated landscape. We created more data in the last 2 years than in the 10 years before. And that's really showing the acceleration. We are all on the cloud. We're tracking way more information. We have way more detailed business. We do different business processes. And all of that has to fit together with into a seamless process. And so a lot of people have massive heroics at the end of the month, for instance, doing finance close and revenue close and making sure that all those processes work correctly. And it's a lot of telephones and email and Teams and chatting with each other and say who's on next. And this is where Power App happened. Allowing a lot of people that understand that data to really put together something that will take that information and create a view that the actual people doing the process can use to orchestrate their operation.
So if I'm not mistaken, you have a few key values that you focus on in this scenario. Can you please discuss those?
There is a number of value points that we see out of using Power App and in that specific scenario. One, it's a simplified experience. Every time you look at SAP, it's a great platform, but it's a very detailed and complicated platform. There is death by over information. So how can you reduce the number of information to what's needed at any given place? And that's where the whole view of that dashboard was important. 2, there is death by the amount of sources for the information. If you have to look in 2, 3, 4, 10 different places, that's a very, very big challenge. And the ubiquity of Power App in being able to connect not only to SAP, but a bunch of other sources. I mean, obviously we run a ton of Dynamics. We have some acquisition that are on Oracle, et cetera, et cetera. So being able to aggregate a lot of information together seamlessly with one platform, that's super important. 3, aggregate, make a dashboard, bring a single view. And that was the other thing, single pane of glass. That's been something we've been really trying to work for throughout in IT for a while now. We do that in telemetry, we do that in monitoring, and being able to provide single pane of glass from the operation, that is absolutely key. And providing automation, providing improved quality of service, that's what the business is asking for. And the best part of that value is really that it's a rapid deployment model. People don't have to wait and say, let me go through a design phase and prototype phase. No, let me try. I've got that data over there. I've got the connector over there. I don't need to have a 20 people team, 2 project manager, a budget request or anything like that to actually build something. Let me that goes back to the quick and dirty development mentality. And really, really, it's super satisfying when you can see how quickly you get something of value.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much. Vanessa, what is it, or why would we want to put the UI or UX experience on top of SAP?
Right. So, Lee, one of the key problems that we are trying to solve in the Microsoft landscape is, as Frederic mentioned, that we have a very complex set of systems, both SAP and non SAP, which are used together to orchestrate our close processes. And one of the key things when we were building a UI for this monitoring process was our thoughts around how can we build a UI that can integrate into these different systems, both SAP and non SAP, to give an end to end business view of our entire close process. Keeping that in mind, one of the key things that we wanted to do, and the reason we went towards using the Power Platform and the Power App, was the powerful capabilities that Power App and Power Automate offered us, where we could connect using Power Automate to different data sources, and we can use the Power App as a common UI framework to onboard all these different systems and give the end-to-end business view that we needed to be able to visualize our entire end-to-end close process and monitor every single piece that goes in to complete our entire tracking and monitoring. That was one of the key reasons that we chose this as our UI.
Got it. Thank you very much. So, what is it? I know you kind of made some comments, but what is it specifically about the Power Platform that really helps here? I mean, it's created for business users as opposed to your pro dev scenario. Can you give me some insight into that?
Oh, yes, definitely. So, one thing I should tell you that this app was actually built by the business team.
Excellent.
So, none of us are pro devs. We are all part of the SAP functional team, if you want to call us that. And we were looking to use a tool that was easy for someone who's not a pro dev to be able to build something that we can use. We can figure out how to build it with the simple low code no code environment that the tool itself offers, and we are able to orchestrate the information in a way that is going to make sense to us. And Power App gave us that because it was something that was very easy for the team to learn and to onboard to. It is a highly visual tool where you can drag and drop a bunch of your UI elements, and very simplified way of adding formulas and orchestrating the information in a way that makes sense to us business without needing someone with a core developer background to build that as a tool for us. That was honestly one of the biggest USPs for us as we built this tool.
That's excellent. The whole piece about you got what you really needed and wanted because you know what you need as the business. So, how long did it take you to build this application that you use in Power Platform?
So we started this journey about 15 months ago, but this app has gone through a number of it's gone through a genesis, I should say that. We started out with an initial version, and I think the initial version, it took us anywhere about a month and a half to actually come up with a initial prototype that we had built. And we continued to evolve that, and as I mentioned, right, we had additional onboardings that we did. So in our SAP landscape, we have multiple systems within the SAP landscape itself, multiple SAP instances. As we evolved this app over the last 15 months, we onboarded additional business capabilities, additional different SAP systems, and we are actually on continuing on that journey to onboard non-SAP systems as well from tracking perspective.
Excellent, excellent. And at this point, is there a chance we could see a demo of the application?
Sure, let me do that for you.
Thank you.
So as you can see, this is a demo version of our app, and we actually use this app to orchestrate Microsoft's entire year-end close that happened for our 2022 fiscal year. It's by no means where we have stopped, and we are continuing to work on this app to add a lot more features. But it's just to give you an idea of the direction we are looking to go and what we've done so far. So when we log into the app for the first time, the thing that you will see is a landing page or a dashboard. And it's a quick and easy way to give you information on how we are trending as a whole for our close. If we have certain KPIs, how are we meeting those KPIs? And from a reporting standpoint, how are we doing? in the different streams that we have in terms of the revenue close or critical milestones that we have to hit for a revenue close right up until the last day of the month versus the financial books closing, which happens all the way, 10 to 15 days after the last day of the month. Uh, Let me drill down into the finance close view. Uh, Financial close is something that happens in every company every month or every period, depending on how your system is being set up. In Microsoft, we do close every month. We are hyper focused during quarter closes and the year end closes primarily because we have to report SEC filings, your 10K and 10Q filings. And it is a very hyper vigilant time for the entire finance community within Microsoft to make sure all our processes are performing optimally, our systems are at its peak system health, and every process is completing in a timely manner to give us the information that we need. And this dashboard helps us to give all business users an easy way to see all the activities that are going to happen over the time period where we have those critical activities within SAP occur across our landscapes, which is the corporate landscape and the federal landscape, and as well as give us information of how long these jobs are taking, how many, the actual occurrence of the jobs, a summarized information, as well as a detailed information from SAP standpoint. As an engineer who would need to figure out if there was a failure, what was the job that failed, or what was the process within SAP that failed, or if there was a breach of defined SLAs, how long did that SLA breach occur for? Uh, and then it gives the engineering community within SAP as well an easy way to monitor this without having to have physical people sitting and looking at the SAP transactions and jobs, refreshing the screen a million times just to see where we are at. So it was an easy way for us to do the entire tracking of, I think we have about 900 plus jobs that run as of today, which are just in SAP alone that are supporting our year end and our every month end process. And imagine the amount of human effort it would take if we had to manually monitor that. This app has helped us get away from that. We have some information that we are also kind of giving at a more summarized level, because one of the things we wanted to solve in this app is to cater to different personas who would possibly use this app. So, as I mentioned, what I showed you earlier, it was more around the engineering persona where we want to get into the nitty gritty details as well. But we do also want to report to leadership and key stakeholders who are more interested in an overall status. So we've created a bunch of these views where it is easy for someone who is in leadership who just wants to see how we are doing overall. Are we meeting our KPIs or not? Are we losing time anywhere? Are we breaching SLAs anywhere? And if we are breaching, by how much we are breaching, which processes are breaching. So they do get that kind of navigation available within this one view, and it helps cater to three different sets of users who would be interested in this information, either to help orchestrate it correctly or to help monitor it or to help report out on it. And along with giving information of from SAP system, we have also integrated our ticketing system into this app. One of the key things that we monitor during the close is the hyper vigilance on system health and how we are performing as a system. And this app helps us to also mock up that information and say if we have a high severity incident open across our landscape, uh, which team would own that, what is the issue that is happening, and is this something that is going to be impacting close. And we've been able to use this app to run our entire close process from a business perspective, give business the visibility to active issues that engineering would possibly be working on, and also showcase information that if an issue is mitigated, where are we at? And it gives you an easy way to navigate into Microsoft's ticketing system to actually view the details in a more granular fashion if you so need to.
Okay, excellent demo, Vanessa. Thank you very much. In summary, either of you, how is Microsoft really using this feature, not just from SAP, but from the Power Platform? How are we bringing it all together? What are those key ideas?
So I think one of the biggest things that it opens is it's the aha moment of people realizing, oh, I can do this. I got the data and I've got the power to use a tool which is pretty easy to get to, but has huge potential to build those kind of things. And then suddenly people say, hey, let me take another look. What else could I do? What else is open? And that's really where I can't really tell you there's a roadmap, because the roadmap is as big as the business has problem to solve, and that's endless. I'll give you another area where, for instance, we see a thing that we hadn't anticipated. Looking at Power Automate. So same thing. Power Automate connects well with SAP, connects with the SAP GUI, connects with a lot of other things we can do. With an intern that grab Power Automate and say, hey, we do a lot of testing because we have complex scenario. We have all those people and all those scripts, and we have testing tools which are varied. But can I automate that? And can I automate it back into our DevOps routine, our CI/CD process? And she did that literally in a few short weeks. She actually built a whole mock-up with Power Automate of automated regression testing for pipeline. And now we're taking another look at it. It's like, okay, that's great. Instead of having to build all of that test automation, let's use an automation tool. Let's use what the end user would do with a system. Let's tie the two together, and let's see if we can make that a repeated process that will do all of our regression testing for us over and over again.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent. This is where Agile really starts to kick in.
Exactly.
Because there's none of this gap between, even if I'm not going to document, I still need to explain to somebody else as opposed to just doing it yourself.
And if you think about it, this is where you've got DevOps, and now you've got FinOps in our case, where you've got financial people as part of operation, which can really build those scripts, build those tests, and know that instead of having to be the one that do all our user acceptance testing all over, they can actually record what they're trying to do and very quickly validate any new feature, any new thing in each of the different areas. So instead of the developer also work on the operation, you get the financial person also having that input on the operation from that standpoint. It's great.
Excellent. Thank you guys very much. Is there any place or anywhere people can go to learn more?
You won't find our financial dashboard because that's a little bit too specific. But we also do publish a lot of the things we do internally on GitHub. So as people go on GitHub and they can look Microsoft IT, SAP, Power App, all of those things over there. One of the Power App we did that was super popular, we used to snooze our SAP systems. So we can start and stop remotely our SAP system with a Power App all the way down to people with their phone. That's fully available on GitHub.
Excellent.
Free for everybody to go look at.
Excellent. Amazing. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Frederic, Vanessa, thanks for stepping in today and really showing off how you can leverage the Power Platform over and above SAP, and showing off a great UI, and amazing that this is all done in a low code, no code scenario. Having been a developer myself, I feel a little worried, but but this is where we're going. This is what what's going to happen. So just gotta have to roll with that. Any final words?
Not from my side.
Well, thank you very much. Okay. And I hope to have another session with you at some point. Maybe when we do a significant upgrade, we can do a wraparound and say, hey, look what we've done. Thanks, everybody, for attending PowerCat 4. And until the next episode, thank you very much.